the necklace and destiny. The sky over Whitebridge darkened with heavy clouds, and rain began to fall, reflecting in the puddles along the busy avenue. Livia Beaumont, a young heiress of an influential family, hurried along, her purse swinging and her silk dress soaked, when she realized in despair that her mother's silver necklace, her most precious possession, was no longer around her neck. Her heart raced. Memories of her mother came in waves, the gentle touch, the delicate perfume, the stories told in the old mansion kitchen. The piece was more than jewelry. It was a link to her mother's love and a reminder of a safe home. A thief ran past, disappearing into the wet alleys. Livia screamed, but her words were lost amid the sound of rain and passing cars. Panic surged in her chest, and the night's chill seemed to pierce her very soul. Then Daniel Carter appeared, a waiter at a nearby restaurant. Simple yet steady-eyed, he chased after the thief without hesitation. Each step radiated courage and determination. The streetlight reflections gleaming on the water. Within seconds, he recovered the necklace, carefully holding it before returning it to Livia's trembling hand. Time seemed to stop. Livia, tears mixing with the rain, lifted her eyes to him. It wasn't just words exchanged in that instant, but a silent, intense connection. As if destiny had intertwined their lives. Daniel smiled faintly, just enough to convey reassurance and honesty. That simple, brief moment would be the first thread of a future no one could foresee. The silver necklace sparkled between her fingers, reflecting the beginning of a love that promised to challenge all conventions, all rules of the elite and power. Chapter 2: A Silent Heart. The next morning, Whitebridge seemed calmer, but Livia's heart still raced. She held the silver necklace between her fingers, still damp from the previous night's rain. Remembering every detail of Daniel's brave gesture, the feeling was confusing: gratitude, admiration, and something more, a fascination she had never felt for anyone of her own class. She decided to invite him for coffee. The waiter's small restaurant was simple and welcoming, with wooden tables and natural light filtering through the windows. The aroma of freshly baked bread and coffee filled the air, contrasting with the cold luxury of the mansions Livia knew so well. Daniel smiled as he saw her enter. There was a genuine sparkle in his eyes, transparent, that seemed to say, "You're safe here." She sat down, and for a few minutes, they merely watched each other, the silence heavy with meaning. Every gesture, every breath conveyed more than words ever could. Then they began to talk. He spoke of his daily routines, the small joys of life, the honesty that guided him. She spoke of her mother, of loneliness, of the desire to find something real in the superficial world of the elite. Between shy laughs and deep glances, an emotional bridge formed. As night fell, they walked together through the nearby park, illuminated by soft streetlights and the reflection of the moon on the lake. Conversation turned into confidences. Physical closeness became natural. As the first rays of sunlight touched the horizon, Daniel held Livia's hand, and their eyes met in a silent intensity. Then came the first kiss, sweet, tender, and full of promise, sealing the beginning of a love that would not be easy, but was already impossible to ignore. Chapter 3: Between Two Worlds. Livia felt her heart torn as her passion for Daniel grew. The weight of familial and social expectations pressed on her soul. She knew that if her family discovered the romance, scandal would be inevitable. The cold, judgmental gazes of the elite weighed on her conscience, and even more on the dreams of pure love she nurtured. as she walked through the ornate halls of the mansion. She remembered her Aunt Carol's words, "True love is measured not by surname, but by soul." Those words echoed, offering courage and comfort, as if her mother still spoke, invisible, guiding her. Livia reflected on Daniel. He possessed no wealth, no titles, no flashy cars. But he carried something the upper class could never offer: honesty, simplicity, and genuine kindness. Every gesture he made was full of intention and care. And it fascinated her. She realized that in his world, value was not measured in gold or appearances, but in actions, choices, and true feelings. When she saw Daniel again, the contrast between their worlds became clear. His steady steps across the simple cafe floor, his eyes attentive to every detail of each order, the natural ease of someone who needed to prove nothing to anyone. She, draped in luxurious dresses, still felt the need to hide behind the mask of social perfection. Night fell, and they met in a park. Every word, every smile, made the barrier between their worlds thinner, yet more dangerous. Livia felt the magic of a love that could withstand society, but also the fragility of what they were building. One wrong touch, one ill-timed comment, and everything could collapse. In the silence of the early morning, as they walked side by side, the world seemed to reduce to their intertwined hands, their eyes speaking more than any speech of the elite. She understood that between two worlds, the heart would always choose truth. Chapter 4. The first threshold. Livia finally decided to defy tradition and approach Daniel without fear. The pure feeling could no longer be ignored. Every step toward him was also a step away from the suffocating expectations of high society, making her tremble with emotion and apprehension. They spent the afternoon together in a simple restaurant, laughing and talking as if the outside world didn't exist. For the first time, Livia experienced the freedom of being herself. Without masks, without social protocols, only genuine emotions. When night fell, they surrendered to desire, to the passion contained for months of loneliness and familial coldness. It was Livia's first true night of love, intense, tender, and full of discovery. But not everything was peaceful. Her cousin, Victor, watched from afar, with envy and resentment, noticing the connection between them. In the luxurious halls of the Beaumont mansion, he whispered to his allies, "If he thinks he can win over my cousin, it's only a distraction. Let's use this against him." Meanwhile, Daniel tried to integrate into that world, maintaining his dignity amid suspicious glances and subtle comments from employees loyal to the elite. Some respected him, recognizing his honesty. Others ridiculed him, seeing him as an intruder. Livia knew the first threshold of true courage was facing all this head-on. Passion, trust, and determination began to solidify, yet deep down, she sensed that this initial challenge was just the beginning of something far greater, a trap that would test not only their love, but their faith in truth and justice. That moment between pleasure, intimacy, and tension marked the start of a journey that would require difficult choices, courage, and emotional resilience. Between two worlds, the cold luxury of the elite and Daniel's human simplicity, Livia decided her heart would choose the path of truth and genuine love. Chapter 5. The Trap. Livia and Daniel's romance was beginning to blossom, but the shadow of the elite was long. Cousin Victor, driven by envy and greed, decided to act. He watched every gesture, every touch between the couple, planning a trap to destabilize Daniel and seize Livia's inheritance. Livia felt the tension grow, cold conversations with relatives, disapproving glances, and malicious comments about Daniel weighed heavily on her heart. She realized that loving this simple man meant confronting prejudice, power, and manipulation from her own family. Victor began sowing doubt. Forged documents, malicious whispers, and veiled accusations made Daniel appear less trustworthy than he truly was. The waiter, steadfast in his integrity, tried to resist, but the pressure was intense. Some mansion employees respected him, admiring his honesty. Others, influenced by the elite, made subtle attacks, snickers, comments about his origins, scornful looks. Meanwhile, Livia tried to reconcile the desire to live this pure, true love with the responsibility of protecting Daniel from the traps around him. Tension increased, but also strengthened their bond. Every gesture of affection, every word of encouragement, became a silent fortress against malice. Livia understood that passion alone would not be enough. Courage, strategy, and faith in love were needed to overcome the obstacles Victor had prepared. The trap was only the start of a cruel test, a first challenge among many that would prove that true love requires resilience against external forces. As days passed, every suspicious glance, every malicious whisper became fuel to keep Livia and Daniel united, even when everything around them seemed to conspire against them. The first attack of the elite was launched. The emotional, silent, and dangerous battle had just begun. Chapter 6. Secrets revealed. The atmosphere in Whitebridge grew heavier. Livia discovered that cousin Victor not only envied her love for Daniel, but had orchestrated a carefully planned trap. Fake documents and subtle accusations circulated through the mansion's corridors, portraying Daniel as dishonest, capable of stealing from Livia's own family. The news hit like a blow. Livia felt the ground disappear beneath her, her heart tight, her trust threatened. But the memory of Daniel's heroic gesture on the rainy night strengthened her. She knew he would never betray her faith or the trust she had placed in him. Determined, Livia sought help from Aunt Carol and her friend Clara. Together, they began investigating the documents and Victor's manipulation, revisiting every detail, every conversation, every suspicious gesture. It was a dangerous game. The elite watched, judged, and whispered, but the couple's courage began to assert itself. While Daniel remained calm under pressure, Livia discovered the true value of the man she loved. His honesty and serenity contrasted sharply with Victor's malice. Each day became a test, maintaining mutual trust amid intrigue, judgment, and external pressure. Their love, once merely passionate, began transforming into an unbreakable force, a bond that no falsified document or malicious gossip could destroy. Between secret meetings, long conversations, and silent strategies, Livia realized that the trap was not just about Daniel, but about proving that their love could withstand the entire world. Tension increased, but also solidified the couple's union. Each challenge, each revealed secret, was an opportunity to strengthen the courage, patience, and faith that kept their love alive and true. In that moment, Livia understood, true love fears no lies. Chapter 7. The ultimate trial. Victor's trap reached its peak. Daniel was falsely accused of theft and fraud, fake documents in the hands of relatives and the city's elite. His arrest was swift, and Livia felt the world collapse as she watched the man she loved taken away, handcuffed, with no chance to explain. Her heart screamed silently. He didn't do anything, but the system and family conspired against them. Fear mingled with anger and helplessness. The love that had once been passion now became courage, and pain transformed into determination. Livia decided she would not give up. With Clara, she began investigating evidence, analyzing footage, and finding flaws in the forged documents. Every discovery brought hope and heightened tension. At any moment, Victor might realize his lies would be exposed. Meanwhile, Daniel stayed calm in prison, confident in Livia's integrity and the love that bound them. He knew truth could not be stopped by intrigue, and her courage would be the key to his freedom. Livia found a video recording in the mansion, showing Victor and his accomplices discussing the plan, laughing at the couple's naivety. Blood rose to her face, but clarity came too. Now she had the proof needed to save Daniel and expose her cousin's corruption. Their love had been tested to the extreme. They were no longer just two passionate hearts, but a united force against injustice. The ultimate trial revealed their courage, integrity, and loyalty, showing that truth and love can withstand any elite trap. In the prison corridor silence, when Daniel saw Livia holding the evidence, their eyes met, and a silent promise was made. Nothing and no one could break Chapter 8. What they had built, the revelation of truth. Livia could wait no longer. With the recording in hand, she confronted the family and Victor's allies. Every word she spoke carried courage, indignation, and the strength of a love that refused to be destroyed. The whispers and once cruel glances turned to shock and absolute silence. Victor, cornered by irrefutable evidence, tried to deny it, but every piece of proof was too clear. The manipulation, the forged documents, the Machiavellian plans, all exposed to the light of truth. Daniel, still imprisoned, felt relief begin to seep in, knowing Livia would never abandon him. Aunt Carol, mentor and confidant, watched the scene with silent pride. You inherited something money cannot buy: courage, love, and loyalty, she said, moved. The message echoed. Nothing could erase the bond between two hearts that chose truth above all else. As the mansion's elite looked on, Livia realized that the strength of true love lies not only in passion, but in the ability to confront injustice, fight for another, and stand firm in adversity. Daniel was finally freed, and their embrace was silent, profound, and filled with restrained tears. Every gesture, every touch, every glance became a testament to the couple's integrity and resilience. The city of Whitebridge witnessed, silently, the fall of intrigue and the rise of genuine love. The mother's necklace, which had begun it all, now symbolized not only family memory but the faith, courage, and honesty that united Livia and Daniel. Between them, the world could continue judging, but what truly mattered, the heart, truth, and loyalty, remained unshakable. In that moment, Livia understood. True love fears neither lies nor schemes. It grows stronger in the face of any trial. Chapter 9: Reward and New Beginning. Truth finally shone, and Daniel was freed. Each step out of prison was a triumph not only for justice, but for the unwavering love they had nurtured. Livia, at his side, felt her heart overflow with relief and gratitude. The couple walked through the streets of Whitebridge, watching the sun rise between old and modern buildings, as if the entire city celebrated their silent victory. Intimacy and respect between them had solidified, and mutual trust was now a firm foundation for any future challenge. Aunt Carol, ever present, smiled, moved. You've learned that true love grows stronger with every trial, and now it is purer and more valuable than any fortune. Inspired by all they had endured, Livia and Daniel decided to bring an old dream to life, opening a restaurant inspired by Livia's mother's wreck. Daniel, with his talent in management and hospitality, and Livia, with her passion for family tradition, joined forces. Each dish served not just food, but story, affection, and memory. The silver necklace, a symbol of her mother and the love that brought them together, found a safe place in the home safe. A reminder that honesty and courage always bring reward. The restaurant became a gathering place for friends, clients, and family, who even when once skeptical recognized the couple's authenticity and value. Amid laughter, aromas, and conversation, Livia and Daniel realized that the greatest reward was not merely victory over Victor or justice achieved, but the simple, fulfilling life they could now build together. Every act of care, every recipe prepared reaffirmed the deep bond uniting them. The painful past became a lesson, true love strengthened, and the future a blank canvas ready to be filled with dreams, courage, and happiness. Whitebridge would never be the same for them, for they had discovered the most valuable truth of all: the power of a heart that chooses to love, fight, and triumph. Chapter 10: Legacy and Eternity. Years of dedication consolidated Livia and Daniel's network of restaurants. Their name became synonymous with authenticity, love, and family history. Customers came not only for the food, but for the legacy of courage and loyalty the couple demonstrated in every challenge. The city recognized the value of honesty above power and intrigue. Livia, gazing at the silver necklace she still cherished, reflected on the journey, from the first reign and the first rescue to the trials of the elite and the freedom won. Daniel, by her side, shared the same look of gratitude and complicity. Friends, family, and clients celebrated together, witnessing the triumph of a love that had overcome lies, prejudices, and obstacles. Every embrace, every smile, every dish served told a story of resilience, courage, and passion. The necklace, a symbol of memory and maternal love, remained a reminder that it all began with a brave gesture and a sincere heart. Livia and Daniel's legacy became eternal not only in business, but in the memory of everyone who knew their story, a testament that truth and true love always prevail. Between the city and the hearts of those who loved, the couple found their place in the world, together, free and ready to face any future challenge, confident that love, courage, and integrity are eternal.